Sometimes I enjoy listening to a good record after when I'm done watching a good movie. Now, for this instinct, allow me to give you all a little bit of a small education musically. Now, Kajagoogoo had a number of nice songs out there, one of their big hits being known as Too Shy. But once Lamal ended up leaving the group and going solo for a little while, he ended up releasing a solo album that came out in the year 1984, which is called Don't Suppose. Now, this particular album, I ended up finding a copy of a newspaper headline for a show he was promoting. Now, for me personally, I actually do really like this album a lot. It's got a number of a good selection of songs on here that are really interesting to listen to. For example, Only for Love, I Was a Fool, Neverending Story, Too Much Trouble, Don't Suppose, you name it. It's a nice album and a really good debut record for this particular gentleman. However, there's one song on this album that stood out to me a long time ago, and when I heard this song, it was a world of fantasy. Now, obviously, when it came to fantasy, he ended up having quite a bit of success when he released The Neverending Story. Great song, and this is probably, if not one of the only ones that people know from this guy right here. But for me, this particular song is about adventure, it's fantasies, opening a storybook and going into a world of just different things with fairy tale creatures, monsters, princesses, princes, you name it. Which leads me to my next point. The next film I ended up watching opened my world to fantasy. That right there is The Neverending Story. Watching this movie again brings a lot of excitement to me. There's also a little bit of sadness, but at the same time, excitement. Because it's been a while since I have watched this particular film, and rewatching again, it's just fascinating how incredible this movie is. Because anybody who loves fantasy, whether it's reading or watching or seeing a film that's literally a story within a story, is fascinating stuff. The Princess Bride is a great example of a story within a story that's being unfolded. But this case right here, fantasy, you got a lot of unique things going on that makes a genre like this just so imaginable. Fucking wizards, dragons, spells, curses, quests. Young warriors who know how to do bows and arrows, sword fighting, no guns, having your two fucking fists, learning how to fight, magical horses, I already said dragons, but I'll say dragons again, whether they're friendly or they're foes, fucking talking creatures, hidden forests, going beneath the waters, across the skies, over the hills and far away. She prays she will return one day. Not to grandmother's house, but over the hills and far away. Given a particular quest where you are the knight. Retrieving the fucking sword itself that's in the stone. Anybody who's a Merlin fan or knows stories around that. Or fucking King Alexander. Stuff like that. But beyond those types of things. Ogres, dragons, warriors, knights, princesses, spells, fighting, action, suspense, fantasy. Whenever I explored fantasy, it's one of those genres where if it's like reading or watching a movie, I kind of like to stay away from, but deliberately, because every time when I watch fantasy, I like to treasure it, no pun intended, because fantasy, especially when you are reading a book or watching a movie, treasure is one thing that you can find. Exploring, going on different quests, whether it's a simple premise or you're given something simple where you can't even use a weapon whatsoever. It's all about it's all about your dignity. And that's exactly what goes on in this story, where no weapons are allowed. You literally go by your dignity, your conscience, your self-righteousness, your fucking just abilities with what you know as a human being to literally cure and help the Empress and save her village from any destruction that's happening. God damn, I mean, the Neverending Story. I mean, this movie itself, I've seen this, like I said, I've seen this movie dozens of times, and holy hell. Just rewatching again, just that suspense that I haven't had in a while from watching any sort of fantasy film where it makes your heart pump. It was right there. You got a full entire journey going on within this movie. Now, you're probably wondering exactly what is it about. Well, I shall explain it to you in the best way I possibly can of what the Neverending Story is without reading the front, spine, back, or the fucking print date. VHSs. So, a young boy who is unfortunately getting bullied in school, he ends up hiding away into an attic where he finds all these different books. But specifically, there's one that pops out that kind of gets his interest, and it is, hence the title, The Neverending Story. So he finds the book, and the book itself, like that he is reading, there is a land called Fantasia. Now, this particular land is casted by an evil spell called the Nothing, and it's upon the kingdom to literally ask Bastion, the young boy, for help. But here's the thing: the young Ateo, who is the young warrior, who has an assisted, friendly dragon named Falcor. They're on a quest. Their mission is simple: to save the Empress, to give her a cure, and save the entire world of Fantasia. That is it. But this movie goes a long way, where the young Ateu can't have his bow and arrow or anything. He's brave. He's confident. He's got abilities. He's got dignity, respect to save the fucking Empress from any sort of problems going on. Now, the thing is that not only is the acting in this movie really good, and it obviously has its own sense of humor within a lot of different creatures, but I really enjoy and admire a lot of the puppetry work that goes on within the wolves, the fucking creatures, the turtle, the fucking dragon, Falcor. Obviously, he was one of the best characters in the entire movie. But the thing is, the sad part is, the horse. Man, I felt so terrible seeing the poor horse. I mean, he was trying his best, but man, it was so sad. So sad. It really does reach the heart with that particular scene in this movie. But bravery has to come a long way, and he has to continue his dignity because he is on his quest. Despite losing his fallen friend, he meets a new one, and lo and behold, they are able to get on this quest and get together, and lo and behold, they are managing to get their mission on its way. But the thing is that the young Ateo, he does meet some friends and some foes along the way that he has to fight, talk to, and etc. Now, young Bastion, whenever it goes from the story between what's going on in Fantasia and the real life element of what's going on with him, I like how the movie itself takes a break, and it's like going back and forth between the two stories within the real world and the outer world. And the thing is, I forgot to even say that the movie itself, there is a corresponding correlation where young Bastion does believe that this particular magical book that he is reading believes that it is a lot more real than it appears to be, that this world Fantasia does exist. But the thing is that even when he's reading this book, one thing I really like is that when you get so deep into reading a story, now for me, from someone like myself who has read a lot of books over how many years, I mean, I read once in a while, but whenever you get so invested with the book, you feel like you are actually a part of that story. Like, you are the fucking character. You are the one who is saving the king, the princess, trying to fight any curses or break any spells that's going on. And that is the thing I really liked, is the visual where young Bastion is the one who is, particularly the young Ateu himself, even though the young Ateu is the hero that you see in the movie, but the thing is that Bastion is the one who is in control, because he's the one who is reading from page to page to page, just not only exploring the story but seeing what's going on, but he's the one right there in control of saving the fucking Empress from any sort of destruction, while the Nothing is literally trying to wreak havoc all over Fantasia. Young Bastion he's the one who has to help the Empress and help out Falcor and the Yoteo. God damn. It's amazing how that what's going on in real life and into the fantasy world are literally connecting together, where you're actually getting something just really, really intriguing. Now, like I said, the suspense for this movie is it's there because you want to see the young hero obviously help the princess, which is the goal. You don't want to see the fucking villain win. It's all about seeing the fucking baby face, the goddamn hero, just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. I mean, I had some laughs with this movie. I had some cries. My heart was pacing. I was cheering. The young kid in me who saw this movie the first time having that same reaction, I've been having it again. Those emotions from that, no matter how many times I've seen this movie, never goes away. Because I love watching a movie where it grips you like that. Even when you see a story like this, I mean, you can see the emotions. You can feel the cries for help, the bravery. The emotions in this movie, you feel it. And that is one thing I loved about this film, is that you can connect. You can really just be emotionally involved. The whole entire set itself, like, obviously the costume designs, the makeups, the presentation of each of the mythological characters that's going on, really good stuff. Sure, it may look a little obvious with a lot of the set designs and makeup, but for me, I don't care. It looks awesome. Like, everybody, the Empress obviously was made to look really good. The townspeople, like I said, the puppetry within all the different creatures going on, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. The interactions and, like I said, the set design. Oh my god. So much fun. Just a lot of fun going on. Happiness, sadness, suspense. I don't even need to repeat myself after this. But for someone like me who's read and heard of a lot of mythological fantasy type stories, adventure books, I mean, like I said, The Lord of the Rings is one of the big ones out there. There's also other stories that came out throughout the time frame, like The Last Unicorn, The Mists of Avalon, The Curse of Sagamore, The Way of the Kings, just to name some fantasy adventure books out there where it kind of has this type of story going on. But obviously, different things, different situations. But I think you understand what I mean with the whole fantasy genre of mythological people, figures, creatures, you name it, places, etc. But the Neverending Story itself, I mean, the movie, it's always gripped my attention, and it's very atmospheric. The music is great. Obviously, the characters for this film are so much fun. Really good personalities. You got the suspense. You are invested between both the realms of the real world and the fantasy world. The whole entire set is incredible. The quest itself, the story is straightforward, simple, and just going on from there. The movie is right here. It was what I gave it young, and it's what I gave it again, and still has. So, folks, as the never-ending talking goes on with me, the never-ending story has unfortunately come to an end right now. So, folks, the movies just keep on coming. Turn around and look at what you see in her face, the mirror of your dreams. Stay tuned.